So I'm gonna set this day up for you real quick. Basically, I've got about 4 hours to fish. Very first thing, I want to apologize about the breathing. Okay, there's not a lot going on. Normally cut that stuff out. I got to get a new mic to go on the GoPro up front, and you don't hear me breathing. The mic sits right on top of the GoPro, and when I'm breathing out my nose, it goes straight down to the microphone. So forgive me for that. Plus, I'm fat and I got asthma. So what do you expect? But I really wanted to do this uncut for you guys. This was a pretty good day. This is for this lake, crazily above average day. Normally, if you're going to catch 5, it's going to take all day. Me and Jeremy had been out. You guys seen that in one of the last videos. I kind of knew this is only about 3 days after. So I kind of knew what was going on. And you can see I don't leaves basically side of the ramp. I never even get up on plane at all. I'm starting at the ramp, which is pretty unusual, but I've seen some busting fish at the ramp when I was putting in, and as I was backing off on my side and down image, I seen some bass hanging out. So, I figure, hey, nobody else is here right now. Let's see what we can find just around here. So, we turned the forward-facing sonar on, and there was some fish out there. We just kind of played around with them for a little while and let things kind of happen. Right now, I'm just in total random search mode. I've already seen some fish around there. I've seen a group of fish, so a school. But once I put the forward-facing sonar down, you're seeing a couple fish here, one fish there, some good-sized dots over yonder. And so right now I'm just in cast mode. Anything I see, anywhere I see it, I'm going to cast at it. I'm going to cast something at it. And me, generally, I love to start with a topwater. I've seen some busting bass. I'm going to try and keep that topwater in my hand for most of the day. Who doesn't love a topwater? But I've got me the little Damiki, the sonar shad from Yum, and the Damiki armor shad rigged up because it is fall. They are chasing these little skinny, little tiny shad. So it's a great little imitation to throw that out there and just kind of shake it at them a little bit. But right now, I'm just using all the tools that I have to see what kind of mood these fish are in. So I've seen them on the graph grouped up. I've seen them on the graphs, paired up or even just by themselves. So I know I'm around fish. I don't know that they're all bass. So my next question is, how aggressive are they? And that's the topwater walking bait is a great tool to see, even if they're 15, 20 feet down in this clear water. Let's see how aggressive they are by running that reaction bait over their head. If they come up a little bit, they're a little aggressive. If they come up all the way and are like, hey, I'm going to eat you, then we know they're super aggressive. And it kind of tells us really quickly, you know, what to expect throughout the day. Now, I said this was going to be uncut, so I'm not even going to cut out me filming this like I was, you know, going to be doing a regular video. So you're going to get to see, you know, some behind the scenes stuff that's normally I'm not showing you.
He's not a big one, but we haven't even left the ramp and I seen them. I'm telling you guys, forward facing sonar is changing the game. Hey, BassGeek here. We haven't even left the 3, 2, 1. Hey, BassGeek here. We haven't even left the boat ramp. I seen a bunch out there. They're not big, but we caught one. 3, 2, 1. Hey, BassGeek here. We haven't even left the boat ramp. I seen some out there. Hey, he ain't the greatest, but we caught one. Let's go see if we can find some topwater bass today.
Now, I've seen a few better dots kind of hanging off that riprap over there and hanging off that, there's a drop off over there. And, you know, they were individual. I went after them, never could get them to bite. That first fish came out of that school. So that at least told me what size bass were in that school that I was seeing, because all the dots were about the same size. But I thought I'd fish around a little bit because, like I said, there's a pretty good drop off right here off this boat ramp. You know, it comes out, tapers down, then drops off to a creek channel in about 45, 48 feet of water. So, you know, there's really good access to deep water, and there's a lot of bluegill, you know, small bluegill up there that these bass can pull up and eat. And then there were some, it might have been crappie, it might have been small bluegill or really small bass around us. But there were some fish moving up and down this creek channel. And you'll see me take a couple of shots at some of those fish. I think they're smaller because I would make a few casts at them and the bait looked pretty much as big as they were. So, you know, I chased a few of those around, but I didn't do that for very long based on the size of return I was getting from the bait and the size of the return I was getting from the fish. So what you see me doing right now is actually exactly what I said just a few minutes ago. Just off this riprap, it comes down, flattens out, and then drops off to about 40 feet. And just off that drop, there's a few bass here and there in amongst the rocks. So I'm just throwing that little Damiki style bait over there to see if I can get some reactions out of them, since that's about the size shad that they're chasing. Again, this thing that I'm doing first thing this morning right here around the ramp, I've seen fish. I know there's bass around here. Obviously, we even caught a little one. And so what we're doing right now is we're just basically trying to judge the mood of the bass. I mess around with those fish around the riprap right there, those dots that were a little bit better than kind of everything else I was seeing around the boat ramp, but never could really get them to react to anything. And so as I'm sitting there fishing, another boat pulls up into the parking lot. I can see them up there. And I'm just going to kind of fish my way out of here. Where I'm going is literally just right up the lake and around a corner. And that's where they were busting and really schooling shad up against this road bed when me and Jeremy were fishing. Come on.
Come on now. There's another little guy.
So basically I throw back over there to where that school is and I catch one even smaller. I know you can't see it. I didn't know that the back camera wasn't working. And this is the awesome thing about GoPros. They're just so fun. It's so fun to manage so many things when you're just trying to have fun and catch fish. I really do love it. I shouldn't complain. But sometimes when things don't work, or maybe I forgot to turn it back on, I don't know. Either way it goes, sometimes it's a pain in the rear end. Now I noticed that the back camera's not working, so I cut it back on. You can see the guys launching their boat down there, so you know I'm gonna kick the trolling motor on high. Right over here off this point is a good tree that normally holds a lot of fish. So I'm gonna kick it on high, get over there, play around with that tree, that lay down for a minute or two. And now I'm like, okay, I need to get up here to my primary spot because I don't know where or what these guys are going to be fishing for. Plus, that tree holds crappie, so maybe with a little tiny 3-inch bait, lunch? So this tree really drove me crazy. There were a ton of fish in it, which I'm pretty sure were crappie or at least bluegill. But off to the side, there was a school of fish. I'm not going to call them bass, but they were better dods. And they would just run from my bait. So I was very depressed. I feel like that's not bass, but whatever they were decent sized dods. I just never could seem to present the bait to them correctly, or when I did, they just kind of scattered out. So you know, generally bass will not run from a bait. They're more like a cat. They're a little more curious. And again, this is a great area to really see what the bass are doing. You've got a main lake point, a creek channel that runs out, you've got some rock, you've got some wood, which is the predominant two types of cover and structure on this lake. I know this is right up against the creek channel. The creek channel runs right out, and so this tree comes way out and touches the creek channel here. And so that's a highway that is intersecting a great rest stop, which is the cover of this big tree. And so I'm going to spend a little bit of time trying to figure out, are the bass in here? Or, you know, are there some, maybe the better bass are hiding up in these trees? Maybe they're moving. Are they using these in their migration, in their fall migration routes? And so I'm going to spend a little bit of time, you know, like I said, this little tool right here, the little Damiki rig, I just felt like this little bait was going to stay in their face more than not. Now, I think this was an 1/8 ounce head and a 3-inch bait. So once it got down there, you could really almost just hover it right in their face. It's almost at that weight and at the depth that I was fishing it at, and the depth could have been anywhere from 5 to 25 feet, really. It just seemed to want to stay right there with them. It didn't move. It just stayed there and pestered them as long as you were just barely shaking that rod tip. So basically what I'm going to do is there's a roadbed directly underneath me, and all kinds of logs, wood, huge boulders, rock that have slowly kind of rolled in. And what I'm doing is I'm using my down image and my side image to see if I can identify any fish, any bass in that tree as I'm going by, around the boulder as I'm going by. So I'm looking for those tattletale fish, that one or two fish that's going to be up in the water column. You're not going to see them if they're hanging down on the bottom, right up against a piece of wood or a rock. But you're going to see a lot of times one or two fish. Something that I've learned over the years, if there's one or two there, most of the time there's 10 or 20. So it's an area you might want to stop and check it out. And so what I'm doing is I'm just going down this road there, and I'm just looking for inside of the eye. I'm looking for shad. I'm using my grass to help me put the puzzle together. You'll hear me talk about the thermocline here in a little bit. So I'm just looking and taking in all the information I can to tell me what I need to do to fix my fish. What's going on, geeks? Hey, we are out here on Top Secret Lake P again. I am hoping we're going to see some more topwater action like we seen in that last video. Listen, it has been cold. You know, we had a warm front the last time. Now we've got a little bit of a cold front. The thermocline, check this out. There's the thermocline. You can see it still up in about that 20-foot range, maybe even like 18. But there is a little bit of topwater action. We had a little bit of a cold rain yesterday, so I don't know how this is going to affect them as far as hitting topwater. We've got two little dinks in the boat already, just off the boat dock, and we're going to call it Damiki tightline. Okay, so this is a situation. Look at that. Maybe a group of small bass right there, hanging on that edge. Might come back and check them out here in a minute. I did see some bass back here. They were chasing shad, exactly what we're looking for. So we're going to let them rest where we drove over top of them, graphed them for a minute. But you know, this is where truly that forward-facing sonar has really changed the game, and it's in a bait like the Damiki Rig. You know, the Damiki Rig's always been a bait that's kind of based on being able to see the fish, whether it be 2D sonar, which I used for years, or now the forward-facing sonar. So the great thing about it is now we don't have to get right over top of them. We can throw that little bait right out there in front of them and, you know, kind of shake it at them. And man, when you do, they go mad over that sucker. Now, I know I'm not graphing the traditional way, but I know this lake extremely well. and I'm driving over several key areas, waypoints, creek channels. Right now I'm driving into, this is a big drainage ditch. It's not an active creek, so it's a big ditch. And you know, I know that the bass love to sit and gather right here at the mouth, out in the middle of the gut of this, a lot of times later in the year, and just inside where this one big laydown, you'll have to see me dodge. So I'm graphing, I'm looking around again, I'm taking all this information in. Where's the shad? How deep are the shad? How deep are these fish? You know, all of this is telling me really first thing in the morning, kind of narrowing down the target area, the depth. It's narrowing down the areas, and it's narrowing down the depth of those areas that I need to be fishing. And now I'm going to show you even, you know, how we shoot a little B-roll and, like I said, some behind the scenes stuff. All right, so we're making our way back over that roadbed. You can see it coming up just on the left there. We're staying away from it, but we take a little bit of a different line too to check and see, because the bass like to move. There's a little ditch that runs out of that pocket we were just in. Sometimes they'll push over against the bank, but we're not really seeing anything there. Everything is just in front of us right there. That's where we're headed. Now I'm kind of staying away from that roadbed, staying on the other side of this little creek here. And what I'm doing is I'm letting that rest over there. Yeah, they're gonna hear me. And yeah, they're gonna be out here in the middle too, you'll see. But I'm staying away from that. And I'm gonna come around and just kind of shut her down, get ready to do some fishing. So, you know, of course, I'm going to pick up the topwater. This is the same spot that me and Jeremy caught them really well and had a lot of fish busting. I know there's fish here. I don't know that there's the same amount of numbers here yet. One thing about the live, the forward-facing sonar that amazes me is you can see them on down and side image, and you may think there's 5, 10, 15, 20. But when you see them on the live, it doubles or triples. It just shows actually how many bass or fish of any species are out there, truly. And it's pretty amazing how many are actually there. So, you know, I kind of start over here in this other little drain that's kind of, the roadbed bends around that big blowdown tree that you see there. And I just want to slowly come out. I've got my live scope set at about 60 feet out there. And, you know, I'm just kind of scanning out here because I know they'll be coming from my left to the right and pushing those shad up against the roadbed and that bank that you see on the right side right now. And so right now I'm still kind of in search mode. I'm looking to see where they are. Sometimes they can be up tight to this little pocket, and sometimes they can be a little farther out.
be a pretty good one. He's fighting. Seen them on the grass. He's gonna come up and jump again. Yeah, that is pretty good. That's a fatty. Got a little run in him. Oh, that's good. Come on, Wiggin. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let me get you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Easy. God, you are heavy. That's one. Hold on, fella. Trying not to tear you up too bad. Damn, son, you had it. Have we been catching some nice smallmouth or what? Look at that thing. I mean, look at that thing. I don't got my scales. That's got to be a 4-pounder. He's 20 inches. I mean, that fish is heavy. All right. Okay, let's see if we can find his school again, because there's a bunch of them in it. Right there, sits on. Come on. we can't get them to hit top water. Another. Ain't quite as big, I don't think. I mean, he is pulling a little better than I thought, but these smallmouth do. Come on, little fella. What we got? What we got here? He ain't bad. He ain't bad. He ain't bad. Look here. Y'all right back.
So what I'm doing is there's like 6 or 8 schools out here that are just pushing toward that bank. That bank drops off to about 20 feet, maybe 22. The thermocline is sitting right in that 23 foot. You've seen it earlier. And so what's happening is these fish are just kind of rotating. They're coming out. They're not getting below that thermocline. They will not get below that thermocline. And they're just pushing these shad over to this bank where they're feeding on them. Now, most of them aren't busting. Sometimes I will turn on my hydro wave to get them fired up because they are so close to the surface. Most of these fish started out this morning. They were no deeper, even over the 20-foot mark, than about 10 feet. So you're seeing these schools and these bass will just be lined up. Sorry, I wished I could have got more of the live sonar, and I really do plan on getting you guys a lot of that footage so you can really see what I'm seeing on the graph. But they're just circling around, and so what I'm doing is I'm trying my best to stay off the trolling motor. I'm just letting the boat drift, and I'm just scanning around, scanning around. And a lot of times when they're that close to the surface, I try to throw that bait right on top of their head. When you throw that bait, you've seen these first two fish, when they're that close and you drop that bait on top of their head, sometimes you don't even have to twitch it. They come right up and fire on it. Alright, so we're going to put the top water down. We're going to pick up to the meat. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and drop this on these bass's heads. About 50 feet out. My voice. Should be right there. Close to the surface.
Oh my God. Was it girl? Why is it not recording? That was a school. Well, let's see if we can hit them. Too far away. Oh, how did he come off? Okay, so you've seen that school on the graph. That is what they look like. They're kind of offset, but because they were chasing a ball of shad there, but they seem to be in a line, a straight line. So like when you see bass on this graph, a lot of times if they're just running around, they're just all in a straight line. And you'll see I make several casts, and what I'm figuring out here, what I start to figure out right here, is that you can't throw this bait behind them and come through. You need to be accurate. You need to drop this, pay attention to my bell. I keep my bell open, let it fall straight down. You don't want it pendulum back. You want to make sure it falls right into the center of that group of bass. Come on. There we go. That's a good one too. I haven't seen him yet. That's a big largie. Don't jump. Barrel hooked, barrel hooked, barrel hooked. There we go. Barely hooked. Again, seen the school out there. I mean, that's a good largemouth. He's probably a solid 3. Look how fat he is. We'll put him on the board, see what he is. By the way, this is my Ego board. He is 18. Let's see, shut your mouth there, biggin. 18 on the nose. That time they were grouped back up again. I'm going to do a video and show you guys what it is most of the time when they hit. They are grouped up. Rarely, for me, is it 1 or 2 fish, at least from the summer so far into the fall. It's that competition between bass. See if we can get this. There's a group out here. Ooh, that's a big group. They're a little deeper. That may be crappy. They're pretty close, so I think they're going to eat. I've just got so tired. That looks like either one big fish or a group of them. I don't know where this group went. There they are. And a lot of times that's what you'll get. They're moving sideways. All right. So that group ain't coming up. So like I said, basically what I'm doing is I'm hitting them with a 1-2 punch. Basically I'm coming back with this Damiki rig with either a sonar or a Damiki armor shad on it, and you know, that's kind of what we're hitting them with when they're a little deeper. When they're really up on the surface, like 5 foot or less, they tend to be a little more aggressive toward the top water. Well, there's a little group, about 40 to 50 out. Let's see. I'm not seeing my bait. There it is.
This section right here is actually a great example of what it's like. Even in an hour, when you can put an hour and a half, when you can put 7 fish in the boat, which on this lake is incredibly hard to do most days, it can really show you how your accuracy of your casts have to be right, even using a forward-facing sonar like the Garmin that I'm using. The thing about it is I'm missing, and by missing, I'm understanding when I do catch the fish exactly where that placement has to be. And it's not a very wide window, guys. I mean, this thing doesn't cover a very wide, we'll just call it slice of pie. You know, think about it as a very thin triangle that gets a little wider as it gets farther out, but also harder to see things. And this is a prime example of me still getting used to the technology, still being able to make the accuracy or the cast the way I want to. And you know, when I do, good things happen. And so this is sort of the trial and error. Never really fished this technique, you know, really just kind of started picking it up the other day in the video that me and Jeremy saying, yes, I fished a Damiki, but I fished a Damiki rig vertical and on 2D sonar.
Oh, there we are. Can't tell if it's a little one or a big one. Whoa! With this light line, you got to play them out. Don't horse them, let the rod do the work. Now I back reel a lot. You can set your drag, whatever you're used to. I'm just a old schooler. Another fat largemouth. He's hooked pretty good. Oh, don't jump. Damiki, boys. That's a Damiki head, and that is a Damiki armor shad. Let me recirculate. Now I'm telling you, with this, most of the time what I'm discovering is that it's best to drop it right on their head. That drags pretty good. Best to drop it right on them. Let it fall down to them. They just react to it. bunch is moving on me. They might hit a locking bait. Far enough. Just like I suspected, I got the boat loaded this morning.
Huh?
The boat is loaded with bass right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I figured.
He was correct. Listen. Lakeland woke up with a big fat eye.
Uh-oh.
And she's kind of having a hard time breathing. Not breathing like she can't breathing like she's stopping up. And we just seen this little boy that Molly knows who has RSV, and his eye got so swollen that he has to have surgery on it. Well, then Lakeland's eyeball is huge. So we called Stephanie, and because I told Molly not to freak out, I was like, it could just be she slept funny. It could just be she's got a cold, and it could be anything. So I called Stephanie, and I don't know if we're going to get in to see her or not. Molly may have to take her over to urgent care.
Yeah. I sure as hell hope it ain't nothing. I said, I hope it ain't nothing.
Yeah, me too. I'm worried.
Yeah.
I'm really worried.
That's all we need.
So I told Molly to give her some ibuprofen and wait for Stephanie to call back. If Stephanie don't call back in the next hour, then go on over there. I'd love to go with her, but I can't. If I do, will you be angry?
The what?
Give me a point.
Oh.
I'm worried it goes fast.
There's one. I'm just picking them off. I mean, just picking them off. I'm just sitting here on this damn front scan and just waiting until I see them.
Jeremy about this, he's gonna be like, damn it.
Wait until I see them, and I'm just throwing this. They ain't hitting top water, and I'm just taking this damn Damiki rig and throwing it out here.
They're going crazy.
Uh-oh. Another nice largemouth. I got probably a 4-pound smallmouth in the boat. And here's another largie. Let's just eat it. Come on. Oh yeah, fat boy. Yeah, fat boy. Look at that, boys and girls.
Let me just tell Michael what's going on and be like, I'll work as long as I can and come back and work afterwards.
All right, hold on a second. Boys and girls, it's just easy picking. I mean, they're just swimming around here in a group, and you see them and drop it on them. Damiki head. Honey, give me a minute. Boys and girls, it's just easy picking. They're just swimming around here in groups. You see them on that front sonar, throw that Damiki rig, let it drop, and I mean, they just eat it because they're feeding on shad. They're feeding on shad that size. Hey man, I just met some cool guys out here on Top Secret Lake P. That's what I try to keep this lake secret. It's so small. Hey man, he's got a YouTube channel. You guys go subscribe. What's that YouTube channel, man?
Quan's Life Outdoors.
Quan's Life Outdoors.
QWANLIFE Outdoors.
All right, man. Go subscribe to my guy. Now, who you fishing with, man? Say hey.
Sean.
Now, Sean's you just moved up here from Florida?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I live in Lebanon right now, but I bought a house in Coburn. So.
All right. He told me he ain't used to this deep water up here.
I grew up in Indiana and fished deep lakes all the time, but man, I've been in Florida 31 years.
Yeah. See, I ain't used to that skinny water. Them guys get down there and they take off in 3 foot of water and they're running 60 miles an hour, and I'm like,
Yeah. Let's see, I can find a crappie though in that kind of water.
There you go. There you go. All right, guys. Thanks, man. See ya. All right, guys. So, yeah, we also got to meet some pretty cool people while we were on the lake today. That's always fun. One of the things, as you can see, I'm letting the fish go. I did put them in the live well, but we did not even leave the area these fish were from. I put them right back into the same schools. I like to keep those fish with each other. And one of the reasons why I do that is because if you catch them and you release them immediately, they can go and spook the bass up. And sometimes you just won't catch any more when that happens. So if I'm catching 4 or 5 out of this group, I'll kind of hold on to them just long enough to where I'm done fishing this spot. And then we let them go right back in the same spot we caught them. Now, all that being said, guys, you know, I know this uncut, just kind of an experiment. If you guys like it, let me know. We might do, maybe next year when we roll out our memberships in 2023, maybe this is a video that you guys kind of want to check out. We do some uncut stuff, uncensored stuff. And maybe we'll make it like that. Maybe you guys want to do this, maybe, you know, every once in a while, see a video like this. I hope you learned something from it. Remember, as always, Sunday and Wednesday videos come out. Make sure you're tuning in. Join that 100% watch squad. I appreciate you guys for starting that up, man. Y'all rock. And as always, questions, comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to ring that bell so you get the notifications, because that is hugely important. And as always, like I said before, man, you guys rock. Thank you.